What's up, peeps? It's Will. I am in the building with my boy Ben, and he's got a dog on his lap that just appeared out of nowhere. Pretty fucking awesome. My boy Nick Lee, back for episode 100. Nick in the building, my former co-host, still great friend of the pod, comes on here whenever he can. Gentlemen, what's going on? Ben, I'll start with you. How's the weather up there, man?
Dude, it is. Maine is the craziest place. I mean, I haven't lived, like anywhere else, but it is the craziest place, dude. It is like 40 plus degrees today. It's basically shorts and t-shirt weather for my area.
Jeez, that's pretty crazy, man. After the snow this weekend, right?
Yeah, it was like brutally cold, and then now it's this. So.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Nick is from up north. Also, he lives down south now, but he's originally from New Jersey and New York, so he's used to the snow and everything. Nick, what's going on, bro?
What's up? What's up? How we doing? I just got my audio situation all settled. I was a minute late there, but
all good, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm used to all that crazy weather as well. It's funny when I try to explain it to someone down here in the South. It's kind of like I'm explaining trigonometry to them. Like, no, you have to shovel your car out and then you go to work. And they're like, I don't understand. That's
the funny thing about my area is too, I live, if you're on foot, you're 20 minutes away from my job. If you're in a car, you're 10 minutes away from my job. So I'm the last person to get called out if there's any snowstorms or anything like that. Because I live right down the street. Yeah. So my boss is like, I'll come get you in my big ass truck and we'll be all right. And it's like you said, you dig yourself out and you go to work.
Oh yeah. And you said it from Maine. The only thing I know about Maine is every Stephen King book I've read. So I assume there's killer clowns running around, among other things, vampires, perhaps. Essentially,
actually, my two daughters live maybe 5 minutes away from Stephen King's house. They can walk to his house. So, yeah, it's pretty neat. They go visit his house every once in a while because he decorates it. So,
oh, that's awesome.
That's kind of scary. Hey, so Ben, you mean to tell me that when there's snow, you don't throw on your Rocky Balboa leather coat with the lamb wool inside of it and just truck it to work with the toboggan on then?
Dude, I walk to work pretty much every day because I'm so close. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It wouldn't make sense to drive the 10 minutes up the road or whatever. But man, it gets pretty cold, so I'd have to go a little bit above the Rocky. I think I'm a badass, but not quite that badass.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, gentlemen, we'll start with the Elimination Chamber. I know Nick watched it. I'm not sure how long Nick has to chill with us. But Nick, you just stay as long as you want, man. And but yeah, so the Elimination Chamber was on Saturday. It's getting a lot of mixed reviews. Ben, we pretty much predicted almost every single match correctly, which is funny because Dave Meltzer put out the rumor that there was going to be twists and turns and exciting surprises and stuff.
Oh,
and there was literally no surprises, no twists, no turn. For me, the biggest surprise and the best surprise was that we didn't have to watch the Usos wrestle against the Viking Raiders. That was
the Viking experience, man. They got jobbed out. It was very unfortunate to see. You hate to see it for them, really.
You do, but man, I don't even know, man. I just feel like we've seen it too many times recently. But yeah, we can go through the card, talk about everything. The first matchup was Rey Mysterio versus The Miz. Nick, you want to take that one?
Pretty straightforward. I mean, it's two vets in there doing what they're doing. Me, I'm a big Miz guy, so I love anything the Miz is doing except for the reality show. I can't really do too much reality TV. Oh, but I have no problem watching 18 hours of wrestling in a week. But reality TV, get it out of here. That's garbage.
Speaking of reality TV, before we finish up talking about this match, did you guys see there's a new show coming out called Corey and Carmella?
Yeah, Corey and Carmella got a show, huh?
I don't think it started yet, but the trailer came out.
Smart idea for them, for the company. I mean, obviously the other shows are doing well. You got to keep it going.
Yeah, yep. People are probably kind of tired of seeing Mike, Miz and Maurice.
The weirdest thing about that is the way they got together was so awful. Like Corey Graves cheated on his wife, and it was like terrible, awful shit that he was doing, and now they're pushing the shit right out of it. Like it just seems in bad taste, but I mean, I love Corey Graves. I know he gets a lot of shit on the internet, like people fucking hate Corey Graves, but I think he's hilarious. So I mean, I might give it a watch once, but I'm with you, Nick. I'm not really into the whole. I never watched the Total Divas. I never watched any of that reality shit that they did. Just that's not who I am. You know what I mean? But I'll watch 18 hours of wrestling too. So I mean,
I know. You watch reality TV, it's like, look at this, it's so staged. But then I'm there yelling at a pay per view. 1, 2, 3. Oh my god! Like, it's so I don't know.
That's hilarious. Ben, you just reminded me of something. Months back, I laid out like 6 months of storyline for Riddle on one episode. And it was basically he was obsessed with Alexa Bliss. And then at the end of it, Nick's like, yeah, I don't think they can have him do any kind of anything with a female after, the stuff that's gone on. He's like, that would be in horrible taste. You just kind of reminded me of that when you were talking about the Corey
Carmella. Went on for like 10 minutes, and I was like, yeah, none of that's going to happen.
Oh, man. But so he ended up winning after Dominic Mysterio got banned from ringside. This is the thing that threw me for a loop. He goes in the back. The Miz does. The Miz lost. He goes in the back and said he had to make a phone call, basically for some backup.
Mm-hmm.
Online, immediately everybody's saying it's Logan Paul. Whatever. I mean, for WrestleMania.
I'm hearing so many different things. Well, supposedly it's supposed to. Isn't he bringing out a partner tonight on Raw?
Is he? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I've heard things. I'll give live updates. Don't worry.
Immediately, I text Ben and I said, I pray to God that it's George that he called, and they're going to have a father-son versus father-son match at WrestleMania. That would make it worth WrestleMania for me. Immediately, I texted you that on Saturday, Ben, because that's really what I want to see. Obviously, it won't happen, but look, this is like ingrained in my brain for the rest of my life. His dad with the mullet and mustache jumping up there. Who was it that he was trying to fight?
Shane.
Who?
Shane.
Oh, Shane. Yeah, exactly. That's right. So yeah, I would love.
That was that Mania too. That was at the New York Mania, right? That was awesome.
Yeah, that was a great card, by the way.
That was a great card.
Yep.
It was a great card, and unfortunately, it was a 10-hour show, so it was kind of hard to stay interested the whole time.
I kind of like the 2-day Mania.
Who would you think if they were going to do like the father-son thing, or not the father-son thing, but like a tag match? Like, who would you assume his partner would be that he's bringing in?
It's got to be Cody.
That's what Ben said too.
On.
Yeah,
got to be Cody.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, that would be kind of cool.
I said that I bet it would be Cody because that's such a WWE move. But that I hoped that Cody would get more. Like, you have to make a bigger deal of him switching sides. You have to. Like, I was talking to my buddy. I said, don't make fun of me, but hear me out. I said, this is similar to when Hogan jumped ship. Okay. Like, a big name guy, one of the biggest stars, a guy that built the company. Like, you've got to make a big deal about Cody jumping ship if it's true. If he's really going to WWE, you have to make a big deal about it. You have to fire those shots. AEW's been taking shots at you the whole time, signing all your leftovers. Like, you've got to make a bigger deal of this if it's Cody.
I can't. I still won't be able to see it. I won't be able to, like, comprehend it until I see it. Until I see him in the ring. It's just such a wild thing.
Yeah. That makes sense. Now you guys know I come out of left field with some of my ideas for booking, but I'm gonna tell you this. Look, I'll tell you what would make great TV, and I don't mean this in a racist way at all. There's a disclaimer, but if I was WWE, I'd either book this dude or somebody who looked like it, and have the Miz come out as just like a ploy and say this was going to be his tag team partner. Remember that dude from Nacho Libre?
Nacho Libre?
Yes. Just like, a young Mexican boy, kind of like Dominic. I think it would be hilarious if he said he was like gonna, have a tag team partner to counteract Dominic. But, I got a warped sense of humor. But that guy was awesome in that movie. So,
I like
Anyway.
it. I like it. But we gotta. You know what though? Also, I gotta take a second on this. Dominic, he's getting there, man. You got. I like Dominic.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Dominic, did you guys hear about that whole scandal with him like a couple years back, where there was like, what's that?
I don't know. I heard scandal. I said I take it back. I don't know.
Yeah. No. It wasn't. He didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
There was an impersonator on Facebook selling merchandise and tickets to like different shows, saying that they were Dominic Mysterio, and people were sending him money, and the dude was just taking all their money. But he was like literally posting pictures of Dominic and like his girlfriend and all this other stuff. Kind of hilarious, but yeah, there was some big deal about it. But you know, obviously it wasn't him.
Well, let's not rush to conclusion that it's not him, because Nikki Bella messages me directly, and I send her money every week. It's obviously her. So let's relax. Let's not accuse anyone.
That's true. And Seth Rollins did rip off that one dude, you know, that attacked him on Raw. So, anyway, let's get back to it. Roman Reigns versus Goldberg. Ben, you want to take this one?
You know, for as much as I'm not a Goldberg guy, especially at this point in his career, I was never a Goldberg guy. I felt like that match, you know, might have been a little rough around the edges, but it was exactly what it needed to be. It kept Goldberg looking strong. I heard that the finish got botched, that technically Roman was, or technically there was supposed to be a rope break or something, but like they just went to the finish that they went to put him out, to make it, you know, they both ended up looking strong. But there was no way that Goldberg was going to go over in this match. There's no way.
Right.
Wow.
People would have turned instantly on it. But I thought the right guy went over. I thought the match was as good as it needed to be, and that it told the story it needed to tell. Was not much more to it. It's a Goldberg match, so.
Oh yeah.
Nick,
what'd you think of it?
Real quick, do we have the Fight Gods breaking news alert?
Absolutely. Hit us with it.
Breaking news alert. Spoilers ahead. Pause and don't listen. The Miz has just brought out Logan Paul on Monday Night Raw to beat up the Mysterios.
I'm not surprised.
Logan Paul is in South Carolina, and they are currently bashing the Mysterios.
Nice.
I
bet they're cutting a hell of a promo.
People.
It's kind of funny.
Well, it's not Cody.
No. It's not Cody. But you want to know something? This is probably the first time in 20 years that a Miz TV segment has not ended in the Miz getting jobbed out. So this is history in the making, people.
You know, the other history in the making also. Yeah, I mean, you guys probably will remember better than I do. You both are like fucking WWE historians. I can't ever remember a time when a celebrity was on WWE and they were actually a heel, except for Morton Downey Jr. when he like was talking shit to Roddy Piper, and Roddy Piper sprayed the fire extinguisher in his face because he was smoking a cigar in Piper's pit. Can you guys think of another time when they had a celebrity on there that's actually going to get booed? Because Snooki was over, right? She got cheered.
I mean, she was supposed to be over. She was supposed to be, you know. I don't know how over she actually was.
Were people rooting for Mayweather?
He was supposed to be. I mean, whether people cheered for him or not, he was supposed to be.
I don't remember the crowd reaction to him, but I feel like I don't remember. Yeah,
it's kind of
weird.
Will.
It's a good question.
Pete Rose, bro.
Oh yeah, Pete Rose.
Because Pete Rose came out at WrestleMania 14 that first time and just healed all over the crowd. So, you can't win a World Series. You guys are trash. So like, I guess Pete Rose would be like the only celebrity heel there ever was.
Very recently, actually, speaking of sports heels, very recently at the Garden Show, Sami Zayn brought out the basketball player from the Hawks, Trae Young. Yeah, Trae Young.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It was at the Garden. Hated him because the New York hates Trae Young. So there's that. So I think sports it's easier for like, you know, the athletes to heel off than it is for like the mainstream entertainment celebrities.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking back, I don't remember the crowd's reaction on Lawrence Taylor.
Oh no, they loved him, bro.
They loved him, right? Yeah.
They went nuts.
Only because they started that feud the right way, right? With Bam Bam like being a pissy heel and shoving him, and like so whether whether people were gonna get behind LT or not, people were like, "Oh, fuck you, Bam Bam!" Like he's just minding his own business,
Yeah.
So like people liked it organically, I guess. But
that's a great point, Will. Good question.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we've said there has been a few. Shout out to my boy Sean Meehan, who's watching, who just liked the show. What's up, bro? Hope everything's good with you down there in Miami.
Miami.
So, guys, I actually liked the Goldberg match. I thought it was exactly what it needed to be, like both of you said. It had good action. I couldn't believe it was only 6 minutes because it felt like it was a 15-minute match, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Maybe with entrances and exits and everything else, maybe it was 15 minutes. The match time itself was just 6 minutes, but I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I told Ben the only thing I would change is I would have had Goldberg spearing Reigns into that guillotine. You see what I'm saying? Like, and use the force of the spear and his head kind of hitting the mat, and that kind of made him groggy, and the guillotine's locked in. I would have done it that way. But besides that, I mean, I thought it was really good. I was happy with the way that it worked out. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good, Cass. Definitely. Do either of you want to say anything else about that match? You sure, Nick? You look like you got something you want to say, man. What's up?
Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, man. 5-year champion. Let's go. WrestleMania, Roman 2 Reigns. Let's go.
That'd be pretty awesome. Let's see. So the next match of the night was the Elimination Chamber. It was Bianca Belair defeating Alexa Bliss, Doudrop, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, and Nikki ASH to earn her WrestleMania title shot with Becky Lynch.
Happened.
Yeah. I wish they wouldn't have brought Alexa Bliss back for it. I wish they would have waited till tonight. I just feel like if they're going to bring her back for something where she's like going to, win, mess somebody up. I know Ben had said last week he felt like Alexa being in the match was kind of like a red herring. They just, wanted you to think she was going to be the one to win.
Yeah.
But I'll say overall, I thought it was a pretty solid match. I liked it. There was good action. I liked that Rhea Ripley kind of just snapped and like messed up Nikki ASH, right?
Yeah.
Like I liked the mean streak they kind of showed in her. I think that she would be better off as a heel. But right now she kind of can't because Charlotte and Becky kind of cornered the market on the women's heel part right now. I am seeing a lot of things though, and I text you about it, Nick, that Asuka and Bayley are going to come back together and be the tag team champions and actually make the titles mean something again. I wouldn't be shocked because they're doing something where it's like an open challenge, right? With Carmella and Zelina. And I heard that they're going to come back together sometime in the next few weeks and basically just, demolish those two. And it would make sense though, because both of them are high quality, main event type women. And obviously they're not going to be in the main title picture going into WrestleMania. So I don't know. What do you think of the match, and what do you think of that rumor going around?
I mean, I don't know. Asuka and Bayley as tag team. I mean, because I don't know. It doesn't really. You got to have a good story to put them together. They don't have enough time to develop a story between the two of them. Have they had a prior connection before? Only
that
really,
Asuka.
Right?
Wait, didn't Asuka beat her for the NXT title or defend the title against her a couple times?
Yeah, but that's not even canon at this point.
No, I know. I'm just saying that's the only connection they would have had.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, and then what do you do with Sasha Banks? She can't not have a place on WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Hey Nick, I was showing Ben last week, man. I got my first ever little figure for my desk. It's called an action vinyl. And of course, it had to be the man right there. And he came with the ring bell. I'm like psyched about this thing. I got to get 4 more to make the whole ring, but I'm pretty excited about the Macho Man. I got to get somebody else here with him. Maybe they have an Elizabeth to go with him. He's about 2 inches tall, and he's pretty badass, man. But anyway, Ben, what do you think of the Chamber, and what do you think of Bayley and Asuka possibly teaming up together.
All right, so we'll start with the chamber. I thought the match was fine. I thought it had some good action. I thought the best part of the Elimination Chamber was Rhea Ripley. I think that you said that, they should make her heel or whatever, but I think that she needs to be what they want Ronda Rousey to be, and she needs to be that tweener that walks the line, and it depends on, who she's wrestling. I think I mentioned that a few weeks back, that I thought she needed to be a tweener, and you mentioned that nobody was ever a really good tweener, and I said Ric Flair is fucking the greatest wrestler of all time, and he was always a tweener.
Well, yeah, no, there was a couple like The Rock and Stone Cold, but I said it's a real hard thing. It's a real hard thing to do.
I think that if you read a lot of the online comments, they kind of agreed with what I said last week, that I think that they kind of waited too long to give Bianca this shot, and people don't want to see it. And a lot of the comments, especially that I was reading, people were just like, this is the same old shit. Ronda versus Charlotte. It's like basically the same thing we've already gotten before. So you've got so many of these girls just kind of floating in the ether of the women's division. And I think that if you brought Bayley and Asuka back and put the tag titles on them, that immediately ruins two of your top women's stars and handcuffs them to a division that's dead. Because what if they win the belts? Then what? You still don't have any tag teams for them to defend the belts against.
Yeah, but I mean, you gotta start somewhere. I was just thinking maybe it'll be Bayley and Sasha, because Nick said, what about Sasha? I mean, they've been the super friends on and off for years. So
because you could, whether it's Bianca or Ronda, because you have to assume they'll probably both win the belts at WrestleMania. That would be ready-made feuds for Asuka right there, because I don't think she's ever worked either of them, right?
No. I mean, I think that there's a bigger story that lies in the Ronda Becky, but they're just not. I don't think they want to touch it right now. But they haven't done a great job of this. I'm going to say that right away. But I think there is a lot of potential in the Bianca Becky, match at WrestleMania if they can build this up the right way. Because Becky jobbed her out for the title at SummerSlam, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, there's definitely some bad blood there. And Bianca having to work her way back, into this main title picture throughout the year to get her shot at Becky, I think there's potential there. Even though we've seen a little bit of it before, I don't think we've seen the direct one-on-one between them. So, I don't know. I want to see a really good banger between those two. And I want to see Bianca get her, payback on Becky for sure.
All right. So, look, me and Ben were saying it for months that it was going to be Brock versus Roman for the two titles. And I text Nick the other day and I said, maybe they'll throw all four of them in a fatal four-way. And he was like, well, with it being 2 days, you can't really do that. I do have a theory now, though, guys, and I haven't read this. You can look anywhere you want online. I'm saying it right here. Breaking news exclusive.
Veer Mahan coming to Raw.
Who? Yeah, he's coming. I don't know when, but the dude is coming. Listen, this is my idea. And I honestly think that they are going to do this. And I think it's honestly. So this is what I think. I think that both women's matches are going to be on the first night of WrestleMania.
Wow.
And the winner of both of them will wrestle each other on the second night to unify those titles.
Whoa.
Write it down, record it, screen grab it, whatever you got to do. They're going to unify all the titles. I have another theory too. I'll get to that one later on, but I think that they'll do both women's WrestleMania matches on the first night, and then the two winners will wrestle the second night. Ben, write that shit down, man. I want it in the notebook. But people call me crazy. But look, nobody was talking about them unifying the titles back at the beginning of December when we started talking about it. I mean, I really think that's why they cut 90 wrestlers in the second half of last year, right? I mean, that's almost the whole brand.
I know we're playing off of the assumption that they're unifying them. They have not confirmed this unification. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay, because I'm not saying you're wrong, Will, but
yeah,
if we're, to be fair, they've done the winner takes all match at WrestleMania for the women, and Becky just got the two belts and then eventually lost one. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities that they do that.
Right.
Have they even said that it's title for title yet? Because technically it's just Brock challenging Roman
They're
for his
saying-
belt.
Yeah, they're saying champion versus champion. So
Yeah, but
I don't really know.
technically it's
Right,
just
does that
because
mean-
Brock
does that mean
Brock
winner
won the
take all?
Rumble. So
Yeah.
Brock won the Rumble just because he's the Raw champion does not mean that his title's on the line.
That's true.
I think
I
the
think
people
they're
would
going to
riot.
announce something big on
I mean,
Friday, though.
Technically, as of right now,
Yeah.
it's just Brock going for Roman's belt. Tonight on Raw, he came out and said he's going to be on SmackDown, right?
That's true.
That's what he said. He's like, I'm going to fucking be there.
I think they're going to make some kind of announcement on SmackDown regarding the match, so we might get a little more clarification there.
But as
you're
of
right, you're
this
right.
minute,
As of right now,
just
it's
Brock.
just Roman's title on the line.
Yeah,
You're right.
No, I mean that is
Very
true.
good call. Very good call.
That's true.
So everything's on the table as of right now, and it's getting close. We're in the end of February right now. We're on the road here.
Yeah.
The only way I see it not being a winner take all match is if they don't announce something for Brock because he's the champion on Raw. Like he could theoretically wrestle on night 1 and night 2, you know. If they don't announce some sort of number 1 contenders match or number 1 contenders this, or you know what I mean? It'll definitely be a winner takes all thing, and not necessarily a unification, but the winner will have both belts if they don't announce something within the next 2 or 3 weeks, I imagine.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we'll see about it, and I do think, though, back to what we were saying, I do think Bianca was the right choice. I know that it has been a while since SummerSlam. I know Ben was pulling for Rhea Ripley, and if Bianca didn't win, Rhea probably would have been the best call. But you know, I don't know.
I love Rhea, but I just Bianca's just so damn polished and so damn good. I want her to have more opportunities, you know.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Yeah.
I worry about her becoming the one that people are like, she's getting pushed down your throat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I worry about that. And I just mostly wanted to see a Rhea versus Becky Lynch because that strong style shit that they do would be brutal. You know that they would beat the shit out of each other, and I think it would be a great match. I mean, you can still do that regardless. Like if Becky wins or loses, you can still do it. I don't personally have like a yes or no feeling towards Bianca. I don't mind her, but I don't dislike her. I just worry that she'll become the Roman Reigns, that they're just like, take this, take this, take this, take this. And
easily that could happen. So I 100% agree.
Sorry, not Roman Reigns currently, but Roman Reigns when everybody hated him.
Right. Hey, one thing I did mention to Ben last week is that I do have a feeling that Rhea Ripley, I think that what they're going to do with her is they're going to team her up with Doudrop. I really do, and they'll be like a dominant tag team. Yeah, because like I said, I mean, you got all these women and nothing to do with them. Well, I mean, there's no secondary titles or anything.
They're going to do the Battle Royale at Mania. I mean, they need all the women they can get. They don't even have enough people
to do the Mae Young.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not the Mae Young. It's the Moolah, or did they?
No, it was Moolah.
They changed it to Mae Young after Moolah came out because she was like prostituting her wrestlers or whatever.
And racist. Okay. And she racist. Yeah.
They were like, "Whoops, let's not do that."
Yeah. Okay. But I don't know if they're going to do that or not. But they've done it every year so far, and if they do, I mean, I guess technically you can do a battle royale and a match, but you know that's going to be that. I think they have like 30. They usually put 30 of them in there.
They better get some legends on call.
Oh my god!
See, in a perfect world, right? Just get rid of those tag belts and make a secondary women's singles title. Like
I thought they needed that for a while.
Just get rid of those tag belts, put on a secondary, and then you'll have like everybody that you need. You'll have your jobbers, you'll have your mid-carders, and you'll have your stars. And you'll have the mid-carders that could potentially make their way to stars. But the problem with their women's division right now is they don't have any mid-card girls other than like Nikki ASH. Mm-hmm. She's the only one that I can immediately think of that comes to mind because they're pushing Rhea, Liv, Doudrop, Bianca. They're pushing 4 or 5 girls to be top stars, and then they have like their one mid-card girl, which is Nikki ASH, and that's it.
Yeah. Hey, they have Natalya.
Where I don't even know what show she's on anymore.
She's on SmackDown, and she's feuding with Aaliyah and got.
Is she not the tag team champion with?
No, it's Carmella and
Carmella and
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they won it from Natalia and someone else, didn't they?
And Tamina.
Yeah, Tamina.
That's what I was saying. It's not a good look that we can't even remember who has the freaking belts. That's how
it's pretty bad
they've done with these belts.
I agree. So look, the next match was the tag match. As we said last week, it was just filler. It was Ronda and Naomi versus Sonya Deville and Charlotte Flair. Nick, I'll let you take this one if there's anything to even really say about it.
Naomi's one of my favorites. I love Naomi. Love Ronda. Thought it was great. Thought it was fine.
Yeah.
Thought it was a good match. Ronda looks polished for not being in the ring for a while. I gotta say. I mean, she didn't look as sloppy as I had expected. Even though I guess, I didn't expect her to look terrible, but she definitely, she can go, man. She's never really disappointed for me personally.
Yeah.
So I think she looked great.
Yeah. I didn't mean that it wasn't like a decent match. It was kind of pointless to me.
No, I understand what you meant. I mean, listen, we're gonna call it what it is. A lot of the show was filler.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't do much. There wasn't a lot of setup on the show.
Ben, what were you gonna say, bro?
I have seen better matches in a backyard. I thought that was one of the worst matches of the year. Ronda is not a good enough worker to be one arm tied behind her back. The storyline meeting where it made no sense. That's two different feuds that didn't need to go together at all.
I think they were doing that just to protect Ronda and not having to do like a full.
You don't even have to have her on the show. Have her come out and cut a promo.
You didn't need to have her on there at all. But
have her come out and cut a promo, and have Charlotte come out and she can judo throw her and threaten an armbar, and boom, you're done. You get the same amount of story you told. I think that, man, I can't wait for this angle to be over. I can't really stand either of the two girls that are in the main event picture on SmackDown right now. So I'm ready for it to be on to the next one.
I feel you on that. Ben, the next match I know was your favorite of the night. It was Drew McIntyre versus Madcap Moss in a Falls Count Anywhere match. What were your thoughts on this match?
It was only my favorite of the night because you picked Madcap Moss, and I got to revel in the glory of you being wrong with that one. Well, Drew almost killed Madcap Moss with that reverse Alabama slam, and then almost killed him again with a sword. So I don't really know what else to say here other than the right call was made having Drew go over. But man, it was a Haas match until it got really ugly, and then it was an ugly Haas match. But it wasn't, I mean,
it was
okay.
That was pretty rough, that slam. But go ahead, Nick. What did you think of this one?
You took Madcap Moss in that match?
I did, but let me explain. I thought to build up WrestleMania. I thought to build up WrestleMania, it would basically just be a 2-on-1 match because it was Falls Count Anywhere, and I thought that Corbin would humiliate Drew McIntyre by doing something to him, and Drew McIntyre losing, making there have, a little more heat. It would have made more sense to keep the heat going between them. Look, what's his name? Happy Corbin could have driven a damn golf cart out there and ran him over. They could have done anything. You know what I mean? That was ridiculous. To have him win the match. He could have hit him with a damn truck out back. Whatever, but
remember when Shawn Michaels tag teamed with God? Do you think Drew McIntyre is going to tag team with his sword at WrestleMania to take on Corbin and Moss?
Definitely.
Let me tell you, Will would pick Madcap Moss, and he'd do it again. He'd do it again.
I would.
It was a good pick, damn it.
It was. It would have made more sense. But yeah. Oh, I forgot to show this graphic earlier.
Nice.
And still champion, Universal champ. But
honestly, that match wasn't that bad aside from him almost killing Moss with that.
I thought that made it even better.
Oh yeah.
Holy smokes.
All right. Becky Lynch versus Lita. Ben, go ahead and take it, man, because I know you had a lot of opinion on this match.
The match was all right. Lita can still go for somebody who hasn't competed in a while. And she put the work in, and it was obvious that she trained. While this wasn't just I'm going to go off what I used to do. She trained. She was in the ring before this trying out. But I just didn't like the ending. We knew Becky was going to win, but I felt like the missed moonsault, the twist of fate, the nailed moonsault just made Becky look way too strong. And then she hits one manhandle slam, and Lita's dead. Like after that, I just, I knew Becky was going to win. I just didn't think she needed to look as strong as they made her look, But I guess you needed to put a false finish in there that was believable. But I don't know. I just thought the ending was a little bit too much.
Right. I'm with you guys. Hold on a second. I'm having a little bit of an issue with audio. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't for a second. I was having. Did I freeze? Maybe.
No, Nick.
Nick? No. Nick's good. Nick, you're there, right? Nick, you're frozen. Or he's kayfabing us, one or the other. I do agree, though, that they did make her look very strong. They could have had her do anything kind of like cheap to give her that advantage. You know what I mean? She could have pulled out the brass knucks from her tights, anything. Just do something. You know what I mean? Don't just have her become Superwoman after she took, several things, hit one finisher, go home. It's just, I don't know. That wasn't the best route for that. Now, Ben, since Nick is off right now, I'm sure he'll be back. The Usos versus the Viking Raiders. Go ahead and hit me with it, man. What'd you think?
Why? Like, what was the point in flying those guys out to, where they went just to waste their time? Because I don't think this is a storyline progressor.
No, I don't think so either.
Like, I don't think the Viking experience or the Viking Raiders, I don't know if they'll come back and pick up, even if it's a non-title win. I don't see them picking up a win or so I just don't understand why they did it, other than to make the Usos look really good. But even then, where do the Usos go from here?
Right.
What's
true.
next for them? I heard a rumor, that you could potentially bring back the Bar with Sheamus and Cesaro.
Love the Bar.
Which the Bar. I would be all for that. But I mean, like, I just didn't understand it. I get it. I wanted the Usos to win. I picked the Usos to win. I think they're a great tag team. I love their little heel run they're doing right now. I just didn't understand why they had them come out, smash the shit out of them, and that was it.
Yeah.
Looked cool, though.
It did look cool.
But he suplexed him. That was a cool looking suplex, man.
Yeah.
That was a big boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's true. The problem that I had with it is the fact that they're big dudes. If this was like, let's say, for instance, the Usos versus the Mysterios, I would be okay with this more than two fucking behemoths, getting beat up on the way to the ring. It just, I don't know, man. That's the part that I didn't like. Or if it was the Carrillo dude and the other guy, they're smaller guys. They're about the Usos size. Cool. But these guys are freaking huge, and they get jumped on the way to the ring. It just kind of...
Well, that's the only way they can beat them, right? They're probably thinking you have to jump these guys because they're huge, right? You have to take the beating to them. Yeah. But it just, to me, I don't see the Vikings getting this back. Like, I don't see them attacking them on SmackDown and making them look weak. I don't see them picking up a win. So to me, you could have just had them win dirty in the ring or get their asses kicked and then go grab the belt and get a DQ. It just makes the Vikings look weak as shit. And I think it shows the giant hole in the tag division over there. Like, there's such a gap between the Usos and every other tag team they obviously are going to lose if they're booked to lose, but kayfabe wise, like, there's nobody that can touch them. Like,
100%.
So,
is it possible time was a factor at all? Do you think maybe they just needed to cut something?
I think that's probably what it was that the three ladies matches there probably ran a little long.
Yeah.
So because they wanted to showcase the ladies, right? This was a big deal. They were on billboards for the first time ever, and I don't fault them at all for giving them time to work, but that's probably what happened is they were running long, and
you need a lot of time for the chamber matches too. So
something had to go, and that was the match that made the most sense to go.
And that's the quickest way to do it.
Hey, so the next pay-per-view is Stand and Deliver. You guys know that? Is it the first ever Stand and Deliver?
Yes.
I don't recall that.
I heard of it.
Ben, that is where you're wrong.
Used to be Fastlane.
Okay, the Viking Raiders are going to get this back. I have it on good authority that at Stand and Deliver, they're going to be doing a Viking match where they use longbows, arrows, spears, swords, and axes.
Wow.
That's going to be a tag match.
I'm out of here.
Wow.
Ben just quit the show.
I've heard. I think Drew McIntyre will be at ringside as well.
He will.
With the broadsword. Yeah.
They're going to be like in the bars. You know how they throw the axes into the things now? That's going to be part of it.
We just had a restaurant like that open up around me.
Oh, did you?
Like axe throwing pits and stuff for people. It's like a barbecue place.
Nice. Sounds awesome. All right. So
we got that around here too, but it's just a bunch of hillbillies throwing axes at trees and just out in the road. It's crazy.
And when they get too tired doing that, they start throwing horseshoes.
Yeah, they set gas station signs on fire and
pretty much. But yeah, so the main event, we had Brock Lesnar defeat Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, Austin Theory, Riddle, and Seth freaking Rollins. Nick, I'll let you talk about it first. Your thoughts of it, all that stuff. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I'm sure you had Austin Theory winning the whole thing, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Ben did.
You did too, Ben? I was going to say
no. I picked Brock. I knew Brock was going to win, but I said I would love to see Austin Theory win it. I did say that, but
I thought you would have gone as far as taking Austin Theory. Solid, great chamber match. I mean, I like the Elimination Chamber. It's not. I mean, if you're gonna rank it as far as the gimmick matches, I mean, it's pretty far up there. Brock looks super strong. The Bobby Lashley thing was a little weird, right? He got knocked out with the concussion. But he was in his cage, and then he got Austin, who was a Theory, got thrown through the cage and hit him, and he hit the thing. That was a little weird, but I guess you got to keep Bobby strong. So I liked it. I thought it was great. I would have. That's what you got to do because you need Brock to go against Roman. Like you were saying, we got to have a champ versus champ match. So
yeah,
I'm cool with it.
Yeah,
I would have preferred someone else, but
yeah. Yeah, Ben, what about you, man?
I thought, I thought everybody had a chance to look good. I feel like everybody was equally protected in getting eliminated from the match. They all stayed strong because it was fucking Brock Lesnar just blowing everybody up. I had picked Theory. Nick, I actually picked Theory to win the Rumble too. I'm riding the Austin Theory train until he wins. I think he's great for business. He's great for business.
He's pretty good.
But, everybody had their moments. I thought it was a fun match, and it didn't need to be some spot fest that chamber matches in the past have been like.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's kind of like Nick said, I would have picked somebody else. Not that I have a problem with Brock, but I would have just picked somebody else. But it told the story it needed to tell, and it'll the end game here is what we're all looking for, and it'll all make sense after WrestleMania. And we all know that after WrestleMania they basically wipe the slate clean and start over. So they can tell any story they want after that. But this one has to be finished with Brock versus Roman, no matter what people want, and it's the right thing to do. So
yeah.
Okay.
1000%.
I just wanted to point one thing out to you guys. It is the second month of the year, and Brock Lesnar has won the title 2 times. If he keeps this up, he's going to have the most championship reigns by the end of this year.
Well,
He will surpass everybody.
He already has the most for the main title there on Raw, right? 10?
Probably, yeah. I mean, he's a 10-time champion.
10 times. Damn.
And he's been the Blue Universal champion, what, twice?
Maybe. I think it's 8 and 2 because he's had 10 total reigns as the world champ. But yeah, I mean, if he keeps this up every month, he's winning the world title. I mean, he's going to surpass Cena, Ric Flair, Randy Orton, all those guys.
Cena can't let it happen. Cena's got to come back and stop
just do that to say F off to every other guy. Just have Brock win the belt like 8 more times over the next 3 weeks.
Oh, my God.
I would love it. I'm a big fan of this version of Brock.
This version of Brock is fantastic.
Did you guys see him on the Pat McAfee show when he did that?
I saw some clips from it. Yeah, I saw some highlights.
It was pretty neat, actually, seeing Brock. That nobody's ever seen Brock just be Brock before.
Yeah, just chill.
Because even in the UFC, he was playing a character, right? He was healing on everybody.
Yeah.
But it was just neat to hear him be like, "Yeah, fucking guys, get yourself over. That's part of the business." Like, I mean, it's easy for him to say because he's a monster, but like it was cool to see Brock Lesnar not being somebody else.
Not being a silent giant.
And he's just like, I don't like people. That's why I go hide in the woods every so often. Like, people want to know why I'm not on TV all the time because I can't fucking deal with people, so I go hide in the woods. Like,
yeah, I mean, but you could tell that he actually does like people. I mean, you see, he's doing all these selfies now, like in the crowd, and he's hugging people.
Why not? He's spent what's he been in the business? Let's say 20 years, right? Something like that. I'll probably like.
He's got to get his respect. He's been
he's been playing this character for so long. Like I don't need anybody. I'm my own dude. Like whether he was a good guy or a bad, like let him enjoy it now. Like he's earned it. He's earned it. Take pictures with everybody you want.
People don't want to hear it, but the big names that left WWE to go do bigger things, Brock Lesnar is the only one that's come back full time. Cena has only come back part time. Rock has only come back super part time. So anyone who wants to hate on Brock, they don't look at the facts.
Well, hold on, Nick. I mean, after that amazing acting career that Edge had, he did come back.
Oh, the Vikings, You gotta have it.
No, well, he had that movie with Jamie Kennedy. Remember, and he had also like a
he had a TV show as well where he was like a detective or a cop, and it was like a spooky kind of TV show.
See, and he had that one movie that was kind of like Snakes on a Plane, and he was a cop. There you go, man. Edge
Gophers on a train. I don't.
Well, the funny thing about Brock, right? When he left the company originally, back when he did WrestleMania against Goldberg, people were calling him a sellout, but he just chose not to renew his contract. It wasn't like he said, I want more money or I'm leaving. He just said, no, thank you. I'm going to try something else. You know what I mean? It's not like he held him hostage. He just didn't re-sign a contract. So it's not like he screwed over anybody and said, fuck you to WWE. He's just like, I want to try to be a football player. And then that didn't work out necessarily. So he's like, I'll just go beat people up for real. And he did pretty good at that. So.
Yeah, not too bad. Nick, you always doubting your boy, man. I never steer you wrong, bro. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. Boom.
Money.
Look at that.
Money.
The money plane. With him.
Is that Kelsey Grammer?
Yep.
Kelsey Grammer. And the Punisher?
Denise Richards. Yep.
Punisher's
and Thomas Jane. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's the heist of the century, man. Not just of the year, the century. That's the tagline.
We top flight security of the world, Craig.
Of the world. Yep. So, yeah, I thought that the Chamber was a pretty good match.
Breaking news again from Monday Night Raw tonight. It seems as though Damian Priest defended his United States Championship against Shelton Benjamin and won, and has now challenged the Locker Room. And out comes the one and only
Kevin Owens.
Finn Balor.
Okay.
So that could be something going into Mania. We might get a Finn Balor, Damian Priest, United States Championship little match.
I mean, they had him killing everybody for months, Nick, and then all of a sudden he's like getting booked 50-50 for like the last couple weeks.
Yeah,
it's been kind of bizarre. I don't even know.
Which would be pretty disappointing considering Finn Balor seems to always just be in those like secondary title matches at Mania. He literally he went against, was it Lashley for the Intercontinental the one year, and I feel like I don't remember what he did last year. Last year he was in NXT, so he didn't go last year. So.
Oh man,
this is what they need to do right here. Have your little Finn and Damian Priest segment next week on Raw, and have Priest, maybe not every week, but every other week leading up to WrestleMania, do this challenge the locker room thing. So at Mania he can challenge the locker room, and Cody fucking Rhodes can come out and win the goddamn U.S. title right away, and everything will be all right.
Wow. Intense.
I'm pushing for this Cody thing, man. I just think it would be hilarious, and just the internet would shit itself. It will shit itself when he finally comes out.
If you guys could pick one
AEW
person,
stands, there are still AEW stands who are claiming this whole thing's a work.
I mean, I don't know. I think I would lean towards that, to be honest with you, because like I just can't picture him in WWE. But if you had to pick one current AEW superstar to come back to or to WWE, who would make the biggest impact in your opinion, or who would you most want to see?
Him or CM Punk?
Really?
Cody or Punk? Yeah.
The CM Punk thing doesn't do it for me anymore.
CM
to
Junk.
be honest, yeah.
If you say
exactly,
Keith Lee, if you say Keith Lee, I'm leaving because that dude was a complete bust.
Nah, man, I was gonna say who wouldn't want to see Kenny Omega wrestle for their company? I mean,
it's a tough call. I mean, I think that it'll never, ever happen. But Moxley going back would be amazing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be so sure,
but I don't know if that'll ever. But Jericho will go back one day. Jericho will finish with WWE. He will not finish his career in AEW.
I agree with you on that.
1,000%.
I can see that.
I agree.
So he's going back there for sure.
He'll wrestle a WrestleMania match and retire or something.
Absolutely.
1,000%. Because everybody can say what they want about, who the GOAT of wrestling is, but if you really want to come down to it, Chris Jericho deserves as much consideration for the greatest professional wrestler of all time as anybody else walking the planet Earth.
Oh yeah.
The guy has stayed relevant across 3 decades now. It's like it's been 30 years or more that this guy's and he's been a champion of some kind, if not the highest kind, in every company he's ever wrestled for. So I think WWE would be stupid not to give him one more match if he wanted to come back and retire with them.
You guys, you know what? I was wrong. Okay, so there's no pay-per-view in March.
Okay.
It was Elimination Chamber, then it's NXT Stand and Deliver the same weekend as WrestleMania.
Okay.
That doesn't make any sense, though. Why wouldn't they?
They usually have a fast lane, but maybe they just don't have any.
They're doing that MSG live show, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Show. Is that's going to be okay?
Yeah, it's going to be televised. Okay. I think, right?
So that's their pay-per-view. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
I think that's their attempt at a thing in March. Is the end?
Right. You're right.
All right.
You're right.
That sounds good.
Because they announced Lashley and Lesnar at MSG Live. But people are like, how's that going to happen if he's hurt? So,
yep. All right. Look, Ben, we've already been going almost an hour. Let's just go ahead and whiz through these fight results real quick, and then we'll just call it a night, man. I don't want to, I don't want to stay on. I don't want to go too long. We're trying to go a little bit shorter and a little bit earlier, Nick. Try to get people to watch and stay tuned. So, that being said, Knucklemania. First fight of the night that we'll cover, Ben, was Christine Faria versus Britain Hart. We both picked her to win. Christine, like I said, she's basically like the cyborg, in my opinion, of BKFC. She's a badass. She won the fight. I told you I thought that Britain Hart is just too tough for her own good, man. But at one point, I thought that the doctor would stop this fight, like I also said I thought would happen. But what'd you think of that fight, Ben?
After that fight, I definitely have a newfound respect for Britain Hart.
Absolutely.
She is tough as nails. She stuck to her game plan of throwing that jab in Christine's face. And
it worked. It worked a little bit.
She wasn't afraid to get in the pocket, but I think the problem that Britain Hart is going to have in that division is the same problem that Max Holloway has in his division and Robert Whittaker has in his division. The number one girl is just a little bit better.
Colby Covington.
Yeah, exactly. The number one girl is just a smidge better, and I think Christine has the power to knock anybody in that division out. Anybody in that division out that isn't named Britain Hart. And I mean, it was an awesome fight. If you had never watched BKFC before, that was the perfect fight to start Knucklemania. It was a good fight.
And don't forget her one loss is against two-time guest of the show and friend of the show, Helen Peralta, who is currently on The Ultimate Fighter.
You say filming The Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah. Bro, I was thinking about something. I was reading about it the other day. And God, I really hope that she got on Amanda Nunes's team, because you remember she was telling us that's her favorite fighter and like her hero. Could you imagine she's on Pena's team going against Amanda Nunes's team? That would fuck her up bad. Like, I don't even know. That'd be like me being on The Ultimate Fighter and Anderson Silva was the other coach. I think I would just like cry every day when I woke up. Like, why me? I mean, it's just the way it goes, man. But Nick, did you get to see any of these fights? Any of the BKFC or UFC from this weekend?
No, the last UFC card I got to watch was
Adesanya versus Whittaker, the last pay-per-view.
Whittaker, yeah,
I got you. Okay.
Which I think he did enough to win. I'm gonna say it right now.
Oh yeah, Adesanya, I thought so too. But yeah, so Ben, like real quick, we'll talk about Chad Mendes knocking out this dude Fames. Fames actually showed me that he's kind of tough. I don't think he's a very good fighter. He kept that lefty stance. As I told Jack, you remember Jack said that he could see how Chad would probably be switching back and forth and want to see how he do it. I told him the only reason why Chad did that in MMA was so he could shoot. He didn't change to lefty one time that night, man. I didn't think he would. But, man, that one combination on, like, the second knockdown, it was like a left hook to the body and a right to the face. Oh, my gosh, man. I don't know how Fames got up from that combo, bro. It was a two-punch combo, and he looked like he died. Went down and got up on 9. I was like, holy crap, this guy, if nothing else, at least he could take a beating. But, besides that, it was whatever. Anything you want to say about that, Ben?
I thought the fight was all right. Fames is tough again, tougher than I gave him credit for. I thought Chad was going to wash him a little bit. But the biggest thing I took away from that fight is, God damn it, Chad Mendes, stop grabbing the wrists and the hands like you used to be able to in MMA. That referee told him about 100 times. Like, cut that shit out, bro. I'm surprised they didn't take a point away.
Yep. I was afraid, like, when Conor boxed Floyd Mayweather, that he would just, like, get confused and throw an elbow or a knee when things started not going his way. But,
they almost did that in the next fight. We'll talk about that.
Yeah. Old habits die hard, So, the next fight was Mike Perry versus Julian Let Me Bang Lane. Hell of a fight. Another one, just like you said, if you let somebody see the Britain Hart and Christine Faria fight, this is another one that you could show people. I mean, this picture right here, Nick, sums up this whole fight. You ready for this?
I'm ready. Yeah. Nice.
Man, what a fight, though. Ben, that was pretty wild. What'd you think, man?
Perry, the problem for BKFC is the more Perry's in that ring, the more comfortable he's going to get and the scarier he's going to get, right? Because this shit's built for him. That street fighting, bare knuckle, like promo cutting, like caution to the wind bolt. He doesn't have to worry about takedowns. I mean, he did try to get the plum clinch there. I'm surprised he didn't throw a knee on Julian Lane. I thought he was going to there for a minute. I was like, man, I got scared.
I was hoping.
And he kind of had him in a guillotine almost for a second too. But old habits die hard, like you said.
They're like, hey, what are you doing? Like, not stop. Like what the hell's going on?
Julian Lane was a really good test. But at the same time, now he's 4-6, and is he a gatekeeper kind of guy in the BKFC? But that's neither here nor there. Perry looked great, and I think you need to push this guy to the moon because he's going to be exactly what you want for the company. He's going to be colorful in front of the cameras and throwing bombs inside the ring. So,
hey, look, Julian Lane is the Miz. He can come out, talk shit, lose, and look good doing it, man. I mean,
if he hadn't lost that first round so big, he might have had a chance. But he lost round 1, 10-8, I think, pretty easily.
Yeah.
So because he was not right until he sat down on that stool between rounds.
Yep. I'd love to know what they said to each other right here because Mike Perry was saying you shouldn't have said that. That's where you messed up. You shouldn't have said that. But I don't know what he said before that. You know what I mean? He was telling him why he didn't want to hug him and be cool with him. I mean, they shook hands, but Mike Perry still was pretty pissed off. But the main event, which it got switched to main event because originally it was going to be the Mike Perry fight, but I think because it was for a title, they switched it, which didn't make sense because if they were going to do that, they should have put Christine Faria as the co-main event, but they didn't. Whatever. But man, Luis Palomino, another guy this is made for, bro. He is a freaking monster, bro. He's what's his nickname? Baboon. That dude fights like a freaking monster. Baboons are tough motherfuckers, so I know why he took that name on. And he's no joke, man. He took Martin Brown. He just picked this dude apart, man. Martin Brown did not look like he was in the same sport. That was like a big time mismatch in my opinion. I think Palomino will be champion for a while.
The problem with that fight, like I said, I'm not saying you have to be somebody well known for you to get respect. Like I don't have to know who you are necessarily for you to be a good fighter. But he just, it looked like they were totally on separate like places. Like Smash didn't do anything at all. He kind of shadow boxed and never initiated anything and never committed to anything. And maybe he's tender on his knee because he just tore his ACL or whatever not that long ago. But I mean, he got up and knocked a guy out after tearing his ACL in that fight. So, I mean, I don't really know. Maybe he was just worried about Palomino's power. But he played right into Palomino's strengths and he got picked apart on the outside. People on the internet were kind of shitting on Palomino, but the guy had a really, 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 really serious battle with COVID, and people were kind of worried that he hadn't fully recovered from that before he committed to this fight.
He probably hasn't. He probably hasn't, and that's fine. He still won with it,
Yeah. I'm not, I'm just saying people on the internet how they are, that they were, bitching about it not being an exciting fight and whatever. But you can't always go out there and throw bombs and try to knock somebody out, especially when you're the champion, not if you want to keep your belt. But the next matchup for him is tailor-made, and if they don't do him versus Brito round 2 or version 2 or whatever, they're mistaken because they had beef in the back and it got physical and give Palomino that shine. He's won 6 in a row.
Oh yeah, definitely. Ben, what this reminded me of with Palomino just picking him apart and just not really like jumping in there and going wild on the inside was kind of like, and I know he didn't do it that often, but it's kind of like how Anderson Silva used to fight people, like the Nick Diaz fight. He knew he was going to win the fight. He didn't have to like put himself in all kinds of danger. He just showed that he was on a different level. And you know what I mean? He just kept that up the whole fight, without having to, because I think that was probably one of the issues is he didn't want to just run on the inside and just try to bang it out because you never know what's going to happen in bare knuckle on the inside. Crazy stuff happens.
It reminded me a lot of Cyril Gahn versus Jairzinho Rosenstruik, where Gahn was content to sit on the outside and pot shot him and score points. And the commentators in that fight were shitting on him because he wasn't going for the kill and trying to knock him out. And it's like Palomino wasn't going to go inside against a power puncher who's power on the inside.
He had it scouted perfectly.
He wanted to win, you know. And
hey, look, I just said Anderson Silva. Look, what did he do against Patrick Cote? Sat on the outside, wouldn't let Patrick Cote get close to him. Right. But you know what I'm saying? He just wouldn't let Cote get close to him. I can't let you touch me.
You're not going to get inside on a guy whose heavy hands rely on you being in the pocket. Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought the fight was smart, and could it have been a little bit better? Sure. Yeah. But again, you don't know how much of that was due to Palomino being rusty from his COVID battle. You don't know how much of that was Smash being rusty from his injury himself. Like, you know, there's a lot of factors that could have played in here. But like I said, I hope that they do the right thing by Palomino and give him something, no offense to the man that he beat, but something with a little more name value the next time around.
I think they will do that rematch, and in the meantime, because Chad Mendez declared today he is a bare knuckle fighter, I think they'll give Chad one more fight, and if he can win that fight, I think that he'd probably get a title shot by name value, if nothing else alone. You know what I mean? Put him in there with Brown and see how he does. You know, Brown just got the title shot, and right, wasn't that his name, Brown? Yeah. So that's what I would do. Real quick, we'll just throw out there the Bellator main event. Ben, you want to talk about that real quick?
Logan Storley took the next step up to becoming a contender in the welterweight division. The fight was the very first ever 5-round non-title or non-tournament final main event. People were kind of shitting on Bellator because they chose this fight, but it was perfect because the first 3 rounds were kind of dominated by Storley, and then the last 2, Gracie had a couple Hail Mary submission attempts and tested Storley. Do I think Storley is going to necessarily be the champion coming up? No, I do not. He's got a lot more hurdles to climb before that, or to jump over, I should say. Sorry. But it was a good fight. It showed that Storley can hang, and he has good stuff ahead of him. But you know, the guys in the welterweight division for Bellator, the top 3 or 4 are just another level. Douglas Lima and Yaroslav Amosov, the champion. He's just another guy that's out of this world. And MVP Venom Page is another guy that's ahead of Storley.
And then so you got Paul Daly, who's like the ultimate gatekeeper.
His next fight is his last. He said he's going to retire because Bellator is going to be in London in a couple weeks.
That's awesome.
And that would be his last fight because he said he had some like 40 or 50 boxing matches before his MMA career, and just
hell of a career, man.
Yeah, he basically just said he's done. You know, he wants to be done while he still has a brain left.
Yep, absolutely.
But here's my question for you about BKFC real quick.
Go ahead.
Your favorite, you've already said it before on the show and in message to me, is fighting Dave Rickles. He's coming right up, right?
Oh, he's going to kill Dave Rickles.
Do you do Mike Perry versus the winner of that fights Thiago Alves? Or do you just take the name value that and the eyes that Perry brings you and have him fight Alves next? You already have the fact that they were booked in UFC against each other and the fight fell apart.
I would go ahead and give Perry the title shot in the meantime, just to keep that title, you know, going. But yeah, he's going to kill Dave Rickles. He even said it on the broadcast that Rickles could beat him in MMA. He said, but not bare knuckle, and I totally agree with him. Mike Richmond is a freaking beast, bro. Like that dude. I don't know if you saw him versus Dakota Cochran, but that's the worst I've seen body damage in a BKFC fight. Like he looked like he was breaking the dude's ribs, man. And Cochran's actually a pretty damn good BKFC fighter.
Well, because Thiago Alves' social media, like minutes, maybe not minutes, but hours after the BKFC pay-per-view went off air, he posted something along the lines of, "I'm the champion and you're not even mentioning my name." Like thanks for fucking nothing, basically. Yeah. And, you know, more or less was like, I'll fucking remind you why you need to know my name, is essentially what his social media post said.
Can't blame him.
I know that he was hurt or whatever. He's Alves, you know. He's been through wars. So
he's a
I'm
bad
sure
motherfucker, man.
Right, yeah, he's a bad motherfucker, right? So anybody that comes out and has to fight him is in for it. But man, that division is super exciting. That weight class in BKFC is probably
the
their
best. Best division, definitely. All right, Ben, we got time for the co-main and the main event from UFC. Did you want to talk about the fight with Kyle Dawkins?
Yeah, I picked Jamie Pickett because I thought Dawkins would shit the bed. It wasn't like I thought Pickett was necessarily better than Dawkins. I just thought the pressure of another co-main event after what happened with Kevin Holland, and I just thought it was a recipe for him to make a mistake. But he looked great. He looked the best he's looked in the octagon. Pickett's no slouch. He's a tough guy. You can tell by the takedown defense that Pickett showed at the beginning of the fight that he's a really tough guy. And he waited till the last friggin' minute before he tapped. Do I think Dawkins is going to break the doors down at that division? No, I do not. Do I think he'll be a serviceable guy in that division? Absolutely. But I just find it hard to be one of the guys that trains and coaches your brother and having you both at different career points. I just feel like one of them won't be able to sustain the success that the other one will be able to sustain.
Makes sense.
And Dawkins is in a tougher weight class. It's a lot of heavy-handed guys and a lot of big hitters at the top of the division. And,
Absolutely. Totally agree with you, man. I actually, we'll talk about that in 1 second. And then the main event, just wanted to show this picture.
He looks like one of those wacky inflatable flailing arm tubes.
He does. I told my cousin, I was like, man, he told me, he messaged me, he said, hey, Johnny Walker is plus 250. I said, really? That's it? I said, he should be plus 500. He's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, no. I was like, he's just not who people thought he was. He's not main event status. He had a couple of good wins, but he's just, I don't see him as a top 10 guy. I don't see him maybe top 15, but he's just a stepping stone for guys to get to main event level at this point. I think he'll be in Bellator within a year, main eventing. That's pretty much what I think about it, man. And he got fucked up, bro. That was some nasty knockout, huh? What'd you think, Ben? Pretty nasty.
I picked Jamal Hill, and you picked Jamal Hill, and we didn't even hesitate, right?
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that the sample size for Jamal Hill is much smaller than Johnny Walker's, right? We've seen Johnny Walker in main events. We've seen Johnny Walker win 3 in a row in spectacular fashion. I like Jamal Hill a lot. This is no knock on him, but up until last night, his highlight reel for me was getting his arm broken by Paul Craig.
Right.
And I know that he has some badass knockouts, but to me, that was the most memorable thing, right? Like, not even his 40-second decimation of Jimmy Crute stuck out in my mind as much as hanging out in Paul Craig's guard. But god damn it, dude, he blasted that guy into... He single-handedly blasted everybody who's believed in Johnny Walker back down to earth, right? Because he crashed that guy, and everyone realized, holy shit, he's not who we thought he was, just like you said.
Yep.
And that's unfortunate for Jamal Hill, because I think that's what people will take away from this win, is that Johnny Walker's not who we thought he was, not Jamal Hill is exactly who we thought he was.
That makes sense.
But we're about to find out who Jamal Hill is, because the only guys ahead of him are Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos, Jerry Prochaska, Glover Teixeira, Alexander Rakic, Jan Blachowicz, big guys, the real dogs, like the real gangsters
the top of the division.
Ahead of him.
I'm nervous for him.
And he thinks that he's got power, and he does, but I guarantee you every single one of those guys has power, because we've seen it.
Yeah,
we've seen every single one of those guys knock somebody out. So
that's true.
And like I said, no disrespect to this cat, because I like him a lot, and I think he's going to be good for the division. But we're about to find out who he is.
Yeah, for sure. Nick, before we go, anything else you wanted to talk about? Any more updates for Raw?
No, there's a killer promo going on between Lynch and Belair right now.
Nice.
And it looks pretty good. I'm excited to listen back to it. I see it right now, but nothing, man. Nothing else.
Okay.
You guys
Cool.
do. It's awesome.
Hey, we'll definitely have you back.
I want to actually let me shout out one thing before I cut it off.
Go right ahead.
Interview with Sir Gentleman Jack a couple days ago. I want to tell you guys it was effing amazing. I think you guys did an awesome job on that, man. I thought that was one of my favorite episodes I ever watched. It was awesome.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, we had a good time.
You'll have to come back for WrestleMania.
Yeah, we're gonna have a WrestleMania party.
Not only am I gonna come back for WrestleMania, there's a possibility, and Will, I haven't done this since before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I might come to you live from Dallas this year. There's a possibility. I'm just saying. There's some plans in motion. I haven't been. I went almost every year, and then took a break after COVID. I'm feeling all right now to maybe head back out there. So I'm gonna let you. I'll keep you updated.
Sounds good. Thank you, man, and thanks for coming on, Nick. Ben, anything before we go?
Nick, it was awesome to meet you, man. Thanks for coming on the show and letting me talk shit about Ronda Rousey. I appreciate that, and not calling me crazy. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And
all right. Well, hey,
always a pleasure. Anytime.
You guys be good. We'll see you next time. All right. Take care, guys. Thank you.